Hare Krishna, everybody, and let me begin. So, welcome all of you, Hare Krishna. So, ISKCON Sheshadripuram presents Gita Gyan Essence of Bhagavad Gita, level 2. So, let us start with the darshan. All right, let's start with the darshan. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga from ISKCON Golok Dham, Germany. Prayers Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyat Deshatarine Nama Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Namacharya Padaya Krishna Pradhane Gaurathakam Dana Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya. Okay. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranams. So thank you for joining. This session is dedicated to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. And we are very much thankful to His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, who has motivated us to take up this program. Okay. All right. So we were discussing about the devotional service. Okay. Now let me see. How many of you remember what was the answer that Krishna gave? Or what's the first question that Arjuna asked in the chapter number 12? Can anybody say?
He asks whether which kind of devotional service is good, whether it is personal devotional service or praying in the impersonal form.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So which one is better, whether personal worship of the Supreme Lord or the impersonal worship, right? So yes, then what was Lord Krishna's answer?
He says both are good, but the impersonal Brahman is little tough, but finally it may you may end up in this devotional service, but devotional service is better and easier.
Yes, that's right. Okay. And so here is the question that Arjuna asked: which one is considered to be more perfect, to be engaged in your devotional service or worshipping the impersonal Brahman? So you see, there's a path which is given in the Upanishads, that is meditating upon the impersonal Brahman. That's one path taken by the Jnanis. Now, Krishna says very clearly, he just says straightforward that those who are my devotees are the best, are the most perfect. Okay. And he goes on to say that those who are attached to the unmanifested impersonal form, their advancement is actually troublesome. And making progress is really difficult in that way. All right. And then he continues to say, but then those who are, without deviation, engaging in devotional service of Krishna, who are fixing their mind upon him, for them, Krishna will swiftly deliver them from the ocean of birth and death. So that means they will quickly be liberated. So those who are very serious about liberation and they want a straightforward path, which is not very difficult, okay, not very troublesome, which is not going to take many lifetimes and ultimately coming to this. So that is like Krishna consciousness is that path, which like actually gives you liberation immediately. And then what's the next thing that Krishna says? What's the best way of worshipping Krishna? What's the best way of worshipping Krishna? Anybody can say? What's that?
Worshipping personal form of Krishna, deity worship is the best worship, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah, worshipping the personal form is the best. Of course, it can be in the form of deity worship. It can be in the form of the chanting of holy names of Krishna. But worshipping the personal form is the best. And here Krishna is saying, just fix your mind upon me and you will live in me without a doubt. So that's the technique, that we should fix our mind always upon Krishna. Always fix your mind upon Krishna. And then if you're unable to do this, what is the next best thing that you can do? Anybody can say, what's the next best?
Prabhuji, fix both mind and intelligence first.
Yeah, that's right. Mind and intelligence.
If
you
you
can't
cannot
fix,
do that, then you should follow the regulative principles and follow like a devotee, like how we are going, no? Like
yeah, like a formal devotee, right? Like a formal devotee. Formal devotee means, like, for example, it's like this, right? The doctors here, you're a doctor, okay, fine. Example is like, so when you're studying in your college, medical college, so they'll be teaching you medical science, and you may be doing some assistance in the hospital, little bit, but you're not still a doctor, for example, right? But still they can call you a doctor because you are studying MBBS. So like that, more or less, if you're following the regulative principles, you're called a devotee, even though you may not be like real sense the devotee that Krishna is expecting you to be. Because Krishna's expectation, we will see, it's very high level, very high expectation. Okay, that's like some in the range of Madhavendra Puri, in the range of gopis, always thinking of Krishna. That's it, and nothing else. He doesn't settle for anything less. So may not be at that stage, but still we can call ourselves as a devotee, as a practicing devotee, because the example that Prabhupada gives is this: raw mango and what do you say, a ripe mango, right? So let us say there is a ripe mango, right, which is not so tasty, and it is a little bitter, also sour. It's not there. I mean, it's just green in color. It has to become ripe. But once it becomes very ripe, it becomes juicy, becomes shining, it becomes very yellowish golden, it's very sweet, and it smells very nice. So that ripe mango is like the pure devotee that Krishna speaks about all the time, right? And this raw mango is what we are before the transformation. I mean, before we are doing the devotional service. So that is like what is stopping us from becoming the ripe mango. Are you getting it? So this was a question asked by one of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, that we are not pure devotees yet. So does it mean that we are not devotees? That was a question asked by one of the disciples. Then Srila Prabhupada said, you are pure devotees, but it is more or less like the raw mango. See, the raw mango is still a mango. It's still better than a lemon, right? Lemon cannot become a mango. So it's definitely better than one who is not a devotee, because the possibility of a raw mango becoming ripe mango is very high, and it is eventually going to happen as long as like you allow it to ripe properly. It is going to become a ripe mango one day, right? So similarly, we are all in the path of the devotional service. If we simply allow ourselves to do this sadhana bhakti without any offenses, just simply follow the spiritual master, then the result is we become the pure devotees that Krishna is talking about, right? How many of you got that? Lift your hands. How many of you understood this? Got this?
Yes.
Yeah. Good. That's nice. Thank you. So the second best thing that you can do is, if you cannot be like all the time thinking about Krishna, which I said, which is not very easy, something like Haridas Thakur, 22 hours chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. May not be at that point stage, but that's fine. So we just have to follow the regulative principles given by the spiritual master. What are the regulative principles that Srila Prabhupada gave? What are the most essential ones? Who can tell that? Apart from the 4 regulative principles, I'm talking about the devotional practices that we are supposed to do.
Chanting 16 rounds, Prabhuji.
Okay. What else? 16 rounds of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. What else? What comes before that?
wake up at Brahma Muhurta.
Wake up at Brahma Muhurta. Right? Brahma Muhurta is a very special time. So waking up early in the morning, even before 4 o'clock, is a very special time. And then do what?
Mangalati.
Mangalarti. Attend
Aarti,
Mangalarti of Radha Krishna. Mangalarti of Radha Krishna. That's right. Mangalarti of Radha Krishna, and then the worship to the spiritual master, and etc. 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 That goes on. The program goes on. So that's the thing. That's the process that Srila Prabhupada gave, that we follow the 4 regulative principles. We rise early in the morning and chant 16 rounds, and then try to do service to the devotees, serving the devotees. So this is the whole formula. Okay, this is the formula that Prabhupada has given. And if we follow this formula, we will attain to this state where we are always able to remember Krishna. At that time, it's like liberation is guaranteed. It's just guaranteed. If somebody is at this stage of prema, that is pure loving devotional service to Krishna, is definitely going to back to Godhead. But we will be able to come to that stage only if we follow the spiritual master without deviation. That's very important. We should not try to deviate. All right. So then if somebody is not able to do these regulative principles, even that's not very easy. Even Srila Prabhupada writes that bhakti, there's some people who say that bhakti is easy. But Prabhupada says bhakti may be easy if you do it whimsically. But if you are following bhakti as per the Shastras, as per how the spiritual master is telling you to do, it's actually very difficult. It's not so easy. Because only a person who is in the liberated platform will be able to do all of the devotional service perfectly. It's not so easy. But still we must do it. Even if it's very difficult, we must still do it. That's the challenge. We must do it. That's the challenge. But if somebody is not able to do it, let us say, I am not able to do all of this. I can't wake up early in the morning. Neither can I chant Hare Krishna, nor can I serve the devotees. I can't do any one of these. Then, all right, what's the next best thing? Who can tell me what's the next best thing? Tell in simple words.
Help in devotional service. Help in devotional service of the Lord.
Yeah, help.
Small activities.
Yeah.
Small activities.
Correct. Do some devotional service to the Lord, like supporting the devotees. Like, for example, supporting the Krishna consciousness movement. Just like, for example, there's a story of, yes, yeah, Annadan, food, distributing prasadam of Krishna. Annadanam is the next level. That is like just distributing non-prasadam is the next level. But this is like direct service to Krishna. Maybe, for example, serving the temple somehow. For example, if you have an opportunity to somehow serve the temple. For example, there are many ways of serving, right? So I heard a story of architect who had architected all the ISKCON temples. He was not a devotee himself as such. He was not like a regular practicing devotee. But he always used to be very enthusiastic in creating plans for ISKCON temples. And he used to do it for a minimal charge, or maybe he used to charge or not, I don't remember. Maybe he never used to charge, I'm not sure. But he was very enthusiastic to do that activity, even though he was not like really involved in chanting, etc. And then it happened that after Prabhupada passed away, he left devotional service completely, and he was like, completely material life. And at the time of leaving his body, at the time of leaving his body, he was shouting loudly, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Prabhupada has come to take me. He was shouting like that at the time of leaving his body. This really happened. That means he may not have like practiced, but he was trying to do something for ISKCON, which impressed Srila Prabhupada. There were so many people who helped Prabhupada's movement directly, right? For example, if you remember, there was a lady, right, who gave a ticket to Srila Prabhupada to go to the US. What's her name? Anybody remembers?
Morarji.
Morarji. Srimati Morarji. Morarji. So what happened? Actually, Prabhupada wanted to go to the America, and to the United States of America, and he wanted to preach Krishna consciousness, but he had no money to go to there. He didn't have money to fly. So he goes to a cargo ship company owner, Srimati Morarji, and he requests her that, can you please arrange one ticket for me that I can go to the USA? First she refuses. She says, no, you cannot go. You are very old. It's better you don't go. If you go there, you will die. It's not good for you. It's very rough place. And it's a rough path also. But still, Prabhupada persisted. And he didn't go out of the office. He was just in that office till the evening. And then Srimati Maharaji said, okay, fine. I'll let you go. And then Prabhupada went. So how many of you think that it was a great service? Wasn't it? Yes? type me in the chat. If you think that it was a very wonderful opportunity, it was such a best service that she could render to Srila Prabhupada. So it changed the whole course of everything, right? Such a wonderful opportunity. So this is called serving, being favorable to Krishna consciousness movement, serving that, trying to assist the devotees who are trying to preach like that in whatever possible way you can. It can be in your field. Doesn't have to be directly like a devotional service. For example, there are some doctors who are working in ISKCON. There are some lawyers who may be helping, settle some litigations in the court for ISKCON, for example, like that. Can be any one of that services. Maybe somebody can give their land for rent, for example. Maybe somebody has given their land for donation. All of this is like, secondary level. It can help you to come to the next stage, and which can help you to come to the next stage. That's the topmost stage, to always be able to remember Krishna. What's the next thing? If you can't even do this, then what is the thing? What is the thing that is recommended by Krishna? Anybody can say. If somebody is not able to do this, somebody doesn't even like the word religion. Some people have this problem. They can't connect. That's the problem. It's not that they don't like religion, but it says that they're so conditioned, they can't connect directly with religion or religious activities. So what is it that they can do?
Then you dedicate all your fruits of action to God.
Yeah. So how do you do that? By doing what?
By
You
doing
just
Acting in Krishna.
Bhakti Marga.
Not bhakti.
you
Marga.
dovetail.
Okay, dovetail. But what is?
the person who is devoting the God, the other person should support the person who is given.
Yes. Yes, but that's done in this level. That's done here. That's already done here.
This one, if be a
Work
human,
consciousness. And
What
don't
is, what is it?
work in Krishna consciousness, Prabhuji. And then
Working Krishna consciousness. No, it's not even working in Krishna consciousness.
or being a humanitarian,
Humanitarian causes. Humanitarian causes like NGO, like social service, serving others. I mean, trying to serve others without any expectation in return, right? Trying to give up what you have for others, for the sake of others. So that's an indirect cause, right? So that's another indirect way of Krishna consciousness.
ahimsa way.
Yeah, that's right. So it will help you to be a little bit more detached, a little bit less material, and then it can lead us to devotional service. If you properly do it, it will lead to devotional service. And then he concludes and says, if you cannot take this practice, engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge is meditation. Better than meditation is renunciation of fruit of action. And finally, by the fruits of renunciation of such action, one can attain peace of mind. So ultimately, everything is all about renouncing the fruits of action. So different levels have been explained. That's what we said. The first topmost level, we'll go in the reverse order. The last thing that we can do is renunciation and cultivation of knowledge, meditation. I mean, at least trying to do some meditation or trying to cultivate some knowledge. Knowledge here, it doesn't mean material knowledge. Knowledge with respect to spiritual knowledge. That I'm not permanent, this body is not permanent, I'm not the body, I'm soul, spiritual knowledge. Renunciation, trying to be leading a little bit of renounced life. Okay, trying to purify oneself, gradual development. Working for Krishna, coming to the stage of devotional service, that's slightly better, working for Krishna. That is like maybe going to the temple and serving prasadam for the devotees there, or maybe going to the temple and preparing puris. You see, we are going to Panihati the next week, and then there'll be thousands of people who will be coming to Srirangapatna, and there'll be a lot of serving opportunities, service opportunities there. So what kind of service opportunities? For example, there'll be thousands of people standing, and at the time of the lunchtime, we have to serve food for them, for example. That's one. There's so many people who go and prepare the puris. You have to roll the puris. That's one. There's some people who lift all the plates and collect the garbage and make it clean. Or you can do some help near the DT service, or so many kind of services like that. Okay, trying to assist in some way, cutting the vegetables, etc., etc., etc. So that's like, I'm sorry, that's like working for Krishna. That's called working for Krishna. And Better than that is following the regulative principles of bhakti. Just simply take the formula of Srila Prabhupada and just do it as it is. That's much better. And much better than that, or the ultimate goal is to be always remember Krishna, completely live in relationship with Krishna, right? Just like all the previous acharyas, Madhavendra Puri, Srila Haridas Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, like that. Now we are coming to this section. This is very important and very interesting. Now the context for this section is like this, that what are the qualities that Krishna appreciates in devotees? So like I said, while we are on the path of devotional service, obviously when we compare ourselves with the great stalwart acharyas and devotees, we understand that we have a lot of shortcomings. How many of you agree that yes, we do have a lot of shortcomings, and yeah, we are nowhere close to being a pure devotee? Right? How many of you agree? Please raise your hands. Let me see with a show of hands. Right? And that's very important. Yeah, I want to know. Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done to be actually getting these qualities of a pure devotee, of a high standard, like a pure devotee. When I say pure devotee, talking about Madhavendra Puri, Haridas Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, of that likes. Right? A lot of work to be done, right? So what are those qualities that, or what is the standard that Krishna is expecting from devotees? Okay, when we see that standard, then we actually realize where we are. Okay, it's actually a way for us to understand where we are right now. So Krishna is giving us a way to find out ourselves. You can map yourself and just see where you are right now in comparison with what Krishna is expecting from us. Being a devotee, what are the qualities that Krishna is expecting within us? What are the qualities that are missing? So if you have a notebook or a pen and a paper, do get them and then make a note of it and make a note that, okay, maybe I should develop this quality, if you think that there's some quality which is missing. And one of the most important qualities is humility, right? Humility means, first of all, we should know self-awareness. It's called self-awareness. Self-awareness means, first of all, we must know what is it that we have, what is it we don't have. If we know that we don't have it, then we can have it. How many of you got what I'm saying? Right? It's only when you accept that you don't know something, there'll be a gap which you'll try to fill, right? Then you will try to learn that. But the moment we are in a illusion of competence, that's called, okay, technical term, when we think that I'm already there, then there is nothing to learn, right? If I think that I already know something, and if somebody is going to come and teach me, I'm going to say, I already know it. But we are falsely thinking we know it. And what is the proof for that? Tell me something. How many of you wrote exams in your college life or school life? Type me in the chat. How many of you wrote exams? Type me in the chat. How many of you wrote exams when you're in school? Right? Yes. And how many times when you wrote exams, you thought that you wrote very well, that you're going to get 100 marks? How many times did you think like that? Right? Did you think like that anytime? That, yeah, perfect paper. Yeah, I wrote all the answers. I'm going to get 100 out of 100. But then, what happens when the results come? Can anybody tell me? Break it down and tell me. What happens when the results come?
Here and there, few marks they deduct, and even we score. Especially it happens with me for languages, Prabhuji. In languages they're not supposed to give out of out. It seems. I used to fight with my lecture teachers in my school days. Even now he's remember. I mean, in the sense like I used to say I written everything perfectly. I used to fight 125 out of 125. You are supposed to give. I used to say. He used to say no. In languages, 1 mark we have to give less. It is compulsory. Here and there, some error would be there like that. So many times I've faced the disappointment. Ravish.
Okay. Thank you.
Then I wrote when I get the question paper, I will analyze what all the questions I know. That point to point I will write. Then I will analyze after the examination, then how many marks I will get. Exactly what I did is then got the same marks which I analyzed. plus or minus 1 or 2 marks.
That's nice. That's nice. So the lesson is we don't get 100 out of 100. That's the first lesson. Am I right? We don't get full out of full. I mean, even though we may think that we are getting full out of full, that's like illusion. We think at the time of giving the paper that I did it perfectly well and I'm going to get it. But actually what happens is something else happens, that we don't get 100 out of 100. There's a lot of things that we lose marks. And the second thing is, only when we analyze, sit down and analyze, or only when somebody corrects us, we will know what are the defects in us. How many of you agree to that? Otherwise, everybody, there's no need of invigilator, there is no need of question paper. Everybody is 100 out of 100, isn't it? Everybody should be actually getting 100.
Sorry for interruption, Prabhuji.
Yes.
I just wanted to tell you one thing is,
Yes.
until our university or until we are under education system, okay, somebody is there to correct us. We know our mistakes, we correct, we come out of it. But in life, who will be correcting us, Prabhuji? In every now and then, who is correcting?
Yes.
Parents for some time they will correct. Of own, we have to make some decisions where we are nobody is there to correct us every point in life. So that is how to whom to rely on. We will be helpless in that situation. So
Yes. Arjuna was also having that kind of mentor, isn't it? Arjuna had Krishna to correct him, right? Arjuna wanted to leave the war, but Krishna said, no, you should not, right? So we may not be as lucky as Arjuna to have Krishna in front of us to correct us. But for our spiritual life, thankfully, spiritual master will correct us. So the spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master, if we take the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master gives us corrections. Okay, so we get corrections, we get feedback. So we have to take that feedback and work on it. Is that clear? That is in the spiritual life, it works. Hare Krishna. Yes. All right. So we may not listen to the person who is correcting us. Yeah, that's another bad attitude. So then we won't be learning anything, right? So what happens if we get some negative marking? If we deny it, if I say that no, I don't think I should have lost my marks, we're not going to get anything. Instead, if we take the feedback and analyze for ourselves that, okay, where did I go wrong, and correct ourselves, so the next time I'll not score that negative mark. How many of you understand what I'm saying? So it's about feedback is good for us. So that's why they say feedback is the breakfast for champions, right? So feedback is breakfast for champions. So that's what it is. So we'll come back to this point. Yeah, we have to seek advice from senior devotees. That's correct. That's a good point. We seek advice from senior devotees, and the senior devotees are always ready to help us out. So they will tell us, yes, material and spiritual progress as well, both. Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you. Premamai.
Then I have sorry to interrupt.
Yes,
Not only the senior devotees, the person who is lesser in age also have so many experience in spirituality. Then we can have a good knowledge also.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Nothing to do with age, but the main qualification is, yeah, that the spiritual master, I mean, it should be in the bona fide spiritual instructions. As long as it is in line with what Krishna is saying, then it is a perfect instructions. Okay, right. Thank you. So, okay, nice realizations. Okay, Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams Mataji. Hare Krishna. Now let us do some nice verses, very beautiful verses. Okay. Yes, let's start this. There's some beautiful verses, and let me just read those verses. Let me share this and read this. Very, very beautiful. Okay. Yeah. Who would like to read this? Advesta sarvabhutana maitra karuna yevacha nirmamo nirahankara samadukha. Yeah, please go ahead. Please. Anyone.
Prabhuji, can I read?
Yes. Go ahead.
Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Adveshta sarvabhutana maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankara samadukha sukha shami santushta sadakam yogi yatatma nischaya mayarpita mano buddhi yomat bhakta samikriya priyaha. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. The translation, please.
Should I read the translation also?
Yes.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. one who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination. His mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So it's a beautiful, beautiful verse, okay? Adveshta sarvabhutana maitra karuna evacha. Nirmamo nirahankaraha samadukha sukha kshami. Let's see that first. Adveshta means non-envious towards sarvabhutana. That means somebody who doesn't have an enemy at all. Just like our Yudhishthir Maharaj. If you see Yudhishthir Maharaj, he was called Ajata Shatru. Ajata Shatru means his enemy was never born. He doesn't have an enemy. Even the enemies also don't consider him to be an enemy. Even Duryodhana doesn't hate Yudhishthir Maharaj because he was such a nice person. I mean, he doesn't hate anybody. Advesta sarvabhutana maitra karuna evacha. Maitra means he's friendly to all living entities. He's friendly to all living entities, all human beings, everybody. A sadhu, sadhavaha sadhu bhushanaha. Means that sadhu, the qualification of a sadhu or a saintly person is that he's friendly with everybody. Just like Narada. How many of you know Narada? He's even a good friend of Hiranyakashipu also. He's a good friend of Ravana also. Because he's friendly towards everybody. It's not that, he hates anybody. He goes and gives some friendly advice to Kamsa. That why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? And everybody takes it. Karuna yevacha. Karuna means again, compassionate, very compassionate. Right? The best example again, Narada. Narada Rishi was so compassionate towards the pregnant mother. That's the pregnant who is of Hiranyakashipu. Right? When she was carrying, Indra was about to kill her. And then Narada says, no, don't kill her. She's actually having Prahlad Maharaj in the womb. And he gives her special instructions of Krishna consciousness. Nirmamo nirahankaraha. Nirmama means Mama means proprietorship, means ahankara means false ego. I did it. It's me. It's because of me that this has happened. Why don't you acknowledge that I did everything for you? This is mine. You see, this feelings is called as mama and ahankara. Exactly opposite of that. If you want to be dear to Krishna, you should not have that feeling of proprietorship. You should not be saying, I did it. You must say, Krishna helped me do it, or Krishna did it. I mean, I was just an instrument of Krishna. You should not say, this is mine. You should say, this is Krishna's property. That is nirmamo nirahankara. Sama dukkha sukha kshami. That means sometimes in our life, it's a world of dualities. Sometimes there's ups and downs, am I right? Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad, sometimes we get angry, sometimes we become happy. So all these things happen, right? Ups and downs. Sometimes we get profit, sometimes we get loss. But then you should not be morose when you lose something, nor should you become very happy when you get something material. It should be just sama, means just having equanimity. Santushta satatam yogi. Santushta means happy, satisfied. I'm satisfied with whatever I have. Being satisfied is very important. Santushta. Satatam yogi means always in devotional service, always in spiritual knowledge. Yatatma drudha nishchayaha. Self-control and determination. With determination, we must do devotional service. It should not be like, okay, it's Ekadashi and I'll do something very big today. And for the rest of the 14 days, I'm like very dilute. Okay. That's called ghana tarala. That means dilute and thick. Sometimes very thick milk, sometimes dilute milk. It should not be like that. Sometimes I'm like very devotional. And sometimes I'm like nothing. I feel like, where is God? It should not be like that. Drudha nishchaya means every day fixed determination. I will do it. I must do it. I will follow the instructions of the spiritual master with determination. Mayarpita mano buddhir means completely surrendering our mind and intelligence to Krishna. Such a devotee is very dear to me. Okay, how many of you are noting all the qualities? I'll show it to you in a summary slide as well. But just it's a self-evaluation sheet for us to see which of these qualities. You can write down these qualities and rate yourself from 1 to 10. Okay, for example, there's this qualities here, right? Let me just show you. So these are the qualities, right? Multiple qualities are there. We'll come to it after reading the shlokas. You write down all of these qualities, and then you rate yourself out of 1 to 10. And then you come up with a final number. What's your score? Okay, then you will see how much you can get. I mean, how much you got and how much you're supposed to get. Okay, just give me a minute. Getting a phone. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. So these are the different qualities. We'll come to that. And so these are the thing, right? So if you want to become dear to Krishna, this is what you should have. Let's see more qualities. Let's see more qualities. Yeah. Anybody wants to read this shloka?
Shall I read?
Yes, please go ahead.
15th one.
Yes.
Yasmano dijate loko lokana dijate teya harsha marsha bayade gai muktaya yasate me priyaha. Translation.
Yes.
He by whom no one is put into the difficulty, and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety is very dear to me.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. See, first of all, we should not put anybody into difficulty. Yes, right? We should not be disturbing anybody. We should always think, I should not become a source of disturbance for anybody. I mean, whatever our actions, our behavior, it should not disturb others. We should be like that. That's a good devotee. Am I right? We should not put anybody into difficulty. Right? By us, nobody should be put into difficulty. And we should not be disturbed by anyone as well. Somebody is coming and disturbing, and we are getting disturbed by the slightest agitation. That's also a bad sign. If you're getting agitated for the slightest agitation, that means there's a lot of work that you are supposed to be doing on yourself to become dear to Krishna. Okay, so you have to work on it. Nothing wrong. Like I said, feedback is the breakfast for champions. Who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety. Happiness and distress we discussed. Fear and anxiety. I mean, let's say even something very fearful happens, some situation which is causing a lot of anxiety also, we should be equipoised, not very disturbed. Such a devotee, same bhaktaha, see, muktaha, such a me priyaha. Krishna is saying such a person is very dear to me. Such person is very dear to me. Let's see that. Who wants to read this?
May I, Prabhuji?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bhagavad Gita 12.16.
Yes.
1 minute, Prabhuji. अनपेक्षसु चिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यतः सर्वारम्भः परित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My devotee, who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So not being dependent on ordinary course of activities means, like, see, ordinary people who are not devotees, they're trying to have a life which is like a materialistic life. Okay, but the devotees are not doing the same rat race. They are not entering into the rat race and running in that rat race. They're not in that rat race. So they're satisfied with what they have. They're not in that ordinary course of actions, right? And who's pure, expert. A Krishna conscious devotee is one of the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava is Daksha. Daksha means expert. Must be expert in anything that you are doing, right? Especially in service to the Lord. Must be expert. Without cares, free from all pains. I mean, not very worrying about the pains that we have, and without any worry. I mean, it should not be like every day worried, should not be having like a frowning face, always worried, always thinking about future, always feeling bad, feeling low. We should never feel like that. Whatever may be the circumstance, we should be like without care and free from all pains. Example is Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj, he was cursed to death, 7 days to die. And Parikshit Maharaj is like very relaxed. He's not crying. He's not lamenting. Oh my God, I'm going to die in the next 7 days. What mistakes did I do? Like he's not lamenting like that. Now, what do I do now? Who is going to take care of my kingdom? Who is going to take care of my children? He's not doing all of that. Okay. He's just very carefree. He's aram se he just transferred the power to his children. And he just walked out of the kingdom and he came to the banks of the Ganges and he was very carefree. And then he was just waiting and all the sages assembled there and Shukadeva Goswami came there and he surrendered to Shukadeva Goswami. He paid obeisances and he started asking him questions related to Krishna. That what is the duty of a person who is about to die in 7 days? This is a question that Parikshit Maharaj asked. So that's such a devotee is very dear to Krishna, not striving for some result and free from all pains. Just like Vrittasura, we'll know he was a demon. He was cursed by, he was actually Chitraketu Maharaj in the past life cursed by Parvati Devi. And he became a demon, but he was a pure devotee. And despite of Indra causing him so much of pain, he was actually slicing his neck, right? He was cutting his neck open for 365 days, 1 year. It must be so much of pain. But then he's completely focused on Krishna. It's such a devotee is very dear to Krishna. It should be. This is the examples, right? Let's see that. Next one. Who wants to read this? Okay, let me read this.
Shall I?
Yeah, go ahead.
1 minute. Yona rishyati na dvesh.
Sorry.
Yona rishyati. So it's not 1 minute. No. Yona rishyati na dveshti, na sochati na kangshati, shubha shubha parityagi, bhaktiman yah same priyah. Translation: one who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious thing, such a devotee is very dear to me. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So similar things. Yona hrishyati na dveshti. It doesn't lament nor desires. See, lamentation and desire are like two sides of the same coin. So desiring, that is nashochati na kangshati. It's a different way of putting the same thing. Nashochati na kangshati. Shochati kangshati means either thinking about the past or thinking about the future. See, a lot of times this happens to us, right? So we would have taken so many decisions in our life, but later we would have realized that it was a bad decision. And then it can be a decision like career decision, for example, or a decision to switch a city, go to another country, or it could be a marriage decision, it could be investment decision. It can be many things like that. So, but then a lot of times we lament about the past decisions. Why did I take this decision? I should not have done that. I mean, if I look at my friend who has done the opposite, he's so happy, she's so happy. This is called lamentation. Thinking about our past decisions and lamenting over it, that's not spiritual, and Krishna does not like that. Desiring is like, always thinking that it would have been nice if I would be in this position. It would have been nice if I was in this position. It would have been nice if I was born in such a family. It would have been nice if my spouse was something like this. It would have been nice if I was so rich. It would have been nice if I would have got this job. This is called desire. You should just live in the present. Whatever Krishna gives, it's called yadricha labha santushto. Whatever you get, you should be happy. So think that Krishna has given me this. Such a devotee, Krishna likes. We should try to be somebody who Krishna likes. Okay, so Krishna should get attracted to us based on our qualities. Okay, Krishna gets attracted to us when we exhibit good qualities. That should be our goal. Not that I want to see Krishna. Krishna should come and see, okay, this is a nice devotee, like that. That way I should work. Who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things. So Shubha, Ashubha. You see, in the ordinary course of action, there are some activities which are called auspicious activities, which are some activities called inauspicious activities. It can be good karma, bad karma. So in the Vedas, there are so many yajnas to be performed. That's like good karma. And tapas, dana, good karma. Bad karma is like, doing some sinful activities. So we should neither be attracted towards good karma nor bad karma. The only karma we should be attracted towards is Krishna consciousness. We should rise beyond good and bad. No, it's not about good or bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. Come out of it. It's only one good, ultimate good. That is Krishna consciousness. Should be fixed in that. Such a person is very dear to Krishna. Okay. Now, here comes the final one. Very, very beautiful. Yes. Anybody wants to read this?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Jayanti Mataji. Go ahead.
समसत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समसङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतस्थिरमतिः भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः. One who is translation, one who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge, and who is engaged in devotional service, such a person is very dear to me.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So we spoke about this, like being equal to friends and enemies and being equipoised in honor and dishonor. Okay, let's talk about this. We already spoke about friends and enemies. We all have likes and dislikes. We have some people whom we consider them to be our friends. There are some people whom we consider them to be neutral. There are some people whom we classify them as enemies, somebody whom we dislike, that we don't want them in our life, or we don't want them to be coming close to us. We get repelled by them. So this has to be reduced. This should not be there. It should be equal to friends and enemies. And another thing, honor and dishonor. So it's very normal that normally human beings, when they're honored, they become very happy. So if somebody comes and says a very nice compliment that, okay, somebody says, okay, you look very smart, you look very beautiful, you're very intelligent, you have a good memory, you're so lucky, we feel good. And if somebody comes and criticizes us, I think you're very bad or something like that, anything, somebody criticizes us, we feel very angry. Okay, isn't it? Am I right? So, but we should be equipoised in honor and dishonor. Heat, cold, happiness, distress, fame, infamy, always free from contaminating association. Let me tell you an example. Okay. Can you guys think of one example, please, devotees? Can you tell some example from Srimad Bhagavatam? Any devotee who comes to your mind who has tolerated happiness and distress? Tell me about one devotee. Prahlad Maharaj. So we all know Prahlad Maharaj was such a nice devotee, such a young devotee, yet he was subjected to so much of torture by his own father, but he never lamented nor complained. Am I right? And he was just silently tolerating it and in Krishna consciousness. Right? So in our life also, there are so many testing situations. There are ups and downs. There are reversals in life. So all of this, we just have to take it by our stride, and we should not complain, or nor we should lament, nor we should grieve for it. It is only possible if we are in devotional service. Otherwise, actually, I would say 30-40% of our life is gone in these emotions. See, we don't want to waste our life like this. Okay. And free from contaminating association, staying away from the contaminating association. You see, association can be contaminating. Just like we saw the bad effects of contamination example is like Karna. Karna, he associated with Duryodhana. It was a bad association. It was not necessary. But he chose Duryodhana as his friend. And as a result of that, he also became one of the villains of Mahabharata. He may not be so bad, maybe, may not be. But because he chose Duryodhana, he had to be bad. He was a villain, right, of Mahabharata. So it's like that, staying away from contaminated association. It can also mean staying away from those people who are not like really inclined towards spirituality or devotional service is a good thing. Again, it's not fully possible to isolate ourselves and stay in a room. It's not that. It's just that we do minimal kind of exchange with others and say yes, hello, hi. That's it. Not that it's so friendly and we start gossiping about worldly subjects. Okay. Always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for even any residence, right? Wherever there's a residence, that devotee is happy to be staying there. That's it. So just like how Srila Prabhupada was going from one place to another 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 place, right? All over the world, right? It was not that he wanted to construct a residence for himself and stay somewhere and stay back there. He was not caring for that. He was just going all over the world. Just wanted to give Krishna consciousness to everybody, right? And was fixed in knowledge, right? Being fixed in spiritual knowledge and engaged in devotional service. That's the most important thing. Bhaktiman me priyonara. He must have knowledge, and knowledge, spiritual knowledge also, and engaged in devotional service. Such a person is very dear to me. Now coming to the final and the most important verse of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 12. It's a very, very most beautiful verse. Who wants to read this? Anybody wants to read this?
Prabhuji, can I read?
Yeah, go ahead.
ये तु धर्मामृतम् इदं यतोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धाना मत्परमा भक्तास्ते जीव. Prabhuji, I cannot see the screen.
Yeah, sorry.
ये तु धर्मामृतम् इदं यतोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धाना मत्परमा भक्तास्ते अतीव मे प्रियः. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The thing is, those who follow this imperishable devotional service. What does that mean? Imperishable path of devotional service. Those who are following this imperishable path of devotional service. That is, ye tu dharmamritam idam yatoktam paripasate shraddhadana, and who completely engage themselves in faith, making me the supreme goal. We have to make Krishna the supreme goal of our life. Our only goal must be to go back to Godhead. Vasudeva Paro Dharma. Vasudeva Param Gatihi. Vasudeva Param Gatihi means the highest stage of perfection, or the highest ultimate perfection, ultimate liberation is to go back to home, back to God, and back to Krishna. If somebody makes Krishna as their goal in their life, right? Matparamaha. To make Krishna as your goal of life, such a person is very dear to Krishna. These are some of the ways in which we can become very dear to Krishna. Okay. So I'd like to show you something. So how many of you, I would like to just hear from you. So what is that you have learned from this? Just tell me a couple of things. What did you learn from this?
Devotional services is the important factor for uplifting our spiritual knowledge.
Yes.
I think so.
That's right. What else?
For me, Prabhuji, I learned that control your feeling and emotion in any situation.
That's right. What else?
Prabhuji, distress and happiness should be taken as same. But
Yeah.
it's very difficult, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
Yes.
Mhm.
Very difficult.
We
That's
should
right.
try. Mhm.
They should try. So I'll tell you, like, Yeah, not to be disturbed by anybody, unable to disturb. Yeah, we should learn all of these characteristics. Am I right? So I'll tell you one practical example first. Okay, the example which I saw with my own eyes. How many of you would like to hear such a story? That somebody who I saw face to face, directly face to face, somebody who's having these qualities. Like to see that? Yeah, somebody, I mean, like whom I had the opportunity to see face to face, talk to them, talk to such a person who has these qualities, and actually get inspired by such a person, right? So it was such an amazing thing. It's an amazing feeling to actually, see such a person, right? So I'll tell you that person about that person, and first I'll show you a video, and then just see that, and then I'll talk about that person, and then we'll come to the slide, and then we will do a self-evaluation for ourselves. Okay, we'll do that evaluation sheet. Okay, how many of you are ready for that? Type me in the chat. Are you ready for that? I'm going to play one video. Right. Let's see this. Okay, this is a dedication to His Grace Anadi Jagannath Prabhu. Okay, some of you may be knowing him, some of you may not be knowing him, but nonetheless, I'll explain after in some time. I'm going to explain to you who is he and what did he do, etc. But first, let's just go through this video first. Okay.
Navagoravvaram Navapushpasharam Navabhavadharam Navalasyaparam Navahasyaparam Navahemavaram Pranamami Sachi Sutagoravaram Navapremayutam Navanita Shucham Navavishakritam Navapremarasam Navaravilasachuva Premamayam Pranamami Sachi Sutagoravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutagoravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutagoravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutagoravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutagoravaram
समशत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समसङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge, and who is engaged in devotional service. Such a person is very dear to me. Yo na hrishyati na dveshti न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभा परित्यागी भक्तिमान्या स मे प्रियः. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things. Such a devotee is very dear to me.
Mahatmanastu mam partha दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्त्यनन्यमनसो ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Yo mamevam asammudho janati purushottamam sasarvavit bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata.
Navagoravvaram Navahemavaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Navapremayutam Navanita Shucham Navavishakritam Navapremarasam Navaravilasachuva Premamayam Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram.
Okay, so Hare Krishna. So yes, so anybody knows what's his name?
Anadi Jagannath Prabhuji, Prabhuji.
Yes, Anadi Jagannath Prabhu. Okay, so I'm telling you, like somebody whom I just saw him very closely, and I actually saw him so closely. I'll just tell you some encounters. I mean, how these qualities fit to him. And I just wanted to say, it's because when you glorify the devotees, it's very wonderful. You see. So Anand Jagannath Prabhu had a very special quality. You see, when he used to take people on a yatra, or not only that, anytime, right? When he used to serve the devotees, right, for prasadam, he used to serve everybody, and he used to have the prasadam towards the complete end. Complete end. Actually, it's a big austerity. I tell you, it's not so easy to do that. And he used to have it at that complete end. And every time you used to see him, he used to consistently do that. And what happens towards the end is there'll be some prasadam remaining. Sometimes some sweet will not be there. Sometimes chapati won't be there. Sometimes rice won't be there. He will not be complaining. He will not be thinking about that inconvenience. That rice is not there. Sweet is not there. I miss this. I miss that. Okay. So, but still he would be serving. And if a devotee would ask for a help, he will go to any extent to do that help. These are all practical things I'm telling you. Okay, he would go to any extent to help that devotee, any extent. So it may cost him so much of money also, he won't care. I mean, there's no need of talking about money. I know that he has given so much of money for devotees like anything. So he'll give away his purse, he'll give away, almost like he'll give away his house also. So he's like that. I remember when I came to Bangalore, I stayed along with him in his house, and he was so welcoming and he was so happy to have me. And I used to see him work so hard. He used to have an IT job also. Okay, he was an IT manager. Used to be working late night till 1 o'clock. I used to see him. Okay, and he'll be sometimes falling off on his laptop. Okay, and exactly at 4:30 he will be awake. By 4:30 he'll be just awake, and he'll just rush and he'll go to the Mangalat every single day consistently. Even if he's going to have even 1 hour of sleep or no sleep also that day, he will go to Mangalarti with the same enthusiasm. Okay. So there are so many things that we can learn from him when we try to praise him. Okay. When I say, for example, if I say, Prabhu, you are so great, he will not be ready to hear it at all. He will say, don't praise me immediately. He will run away from praise. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, sorry
Yes,
for
Hare
interruption.
Krishna. Yeah,
Can
no
you tell us this that I think while leaving his body also he went to serve some devotee at the night.
Yes.
Is it what? Can you just tell us what happened
Sure.
that night?
I'll tell you what happened that night. Okay, that night when Anadi Jagannath Prabhu left his body. So he was like giving a class, IDC class, for 3 days continuously. And he had a full day class on, it was, I think, Saturday. He had a full day class. And full day. And then at the end, the devotees packed some prasadam for him because he needs to have some food, right? So then he received a phone call from one devotee who said that his father-in-law is admitted to hospital. His father-in-law is admitted to hospital. So for the sake of giving this prasadam packet to that devotee's father-in-law who was critically unwell. So he went. It's very far from this place. Sheshadripuram to Whitefield is like very far. Okay. So he took and it was raining also. Okay. And all the devotees, they were saying, go back home. But still he said, and they said, you should have the food. You are hungry. The whole day you gave class. He said, no, this prasadam, actually this that devotee needs this more than me. And his packet of food, prasadam, he took it and he was driving on a two-wheeler. He always goes by four-wheeler. Unfortunately, it was that day, it was raining and he was having the two-wheeler. And his four-wheeler went for repair. Unfortunately, he never goes by two-wheeler. And then he hardly had any sleep properly. So hardly he sleeps in the night. He's like always working, always. I remember one day, yeah, let's come back to this. I'll come to that later. So then he was driving and somehow, unfortunately, there was a car accident. It was a lorry truck accident, and that went over him and he passed away. And we were all very shocked when we heard this news. We were like completely shattered. We were completely shocked. All the devotee community was so shocked. I'll tell you, he was so loved by devotees. I'll tell you one incident. When he had some stomach ulcer issue or something, he has stomach ulcer issue because he doesn't eat on time. He's always busy serving the devotees. He's so busy serving the devotees that his food, his stomach is like in the last thing. He's not interested in that. So once when he was admitted to hospital, there were so many devotees pouring in just to meet him. Then the hospital staff were asking, who is this? Is there any VIP here? Why so many people are coming to meet? Who is this VIP? And they said, he's not a VIP, he's a devotee. He's a devotee of ISKCON, and everybody used to love him so much. And even for his funeral also, thousands of people had come for his funeral. Okay, thousands of people had come because he had touched so many people's lives. He touched so many people's lives. Okay. So, I mean, I cannot tell you how much hard he works in Krishna consciousness. I mean, I think that whatever Krishna consciousness I do in 1 year, he does it in 1 week. So much he works. Okay. So much he works. So much he works. So amazing. So now the reason why I said is, I thought, okay, one day I'll tell you one incident. I thought, okay, I used to go to his apartment and stays in his apartment, etc., etc. One day I asked him, like, Prabhu, is this your, how much did you buy this apartment for? Okay. Then he said, it's not my apartment. It's a rented apartment. Okay. Then I was really like shocked at that. So when I heard that, I was like completely shocked. Because he was he is like living in Bangalore from the last 14 years or something. He is working as a software engineer, manager. He could have easily bought one house. So that's what we saw. He means like we saw the qualities of a pure devotee. A pure devotee doesn't care for his residence. He was not least interested in, buying apartments for his own, for himself. So that was like a big shock for me that he didn't buy the apartment and he was just living in a rented apartment. And not only that, his parents are like very educated and very rich as well. And but he was completely different. Okay, he was completely different. He was like always willing to be serving the devotees in a completely different mood, 24/7, all the time. Right? So just thought I'll share this with all of you, because once I remember, even in the most stressful situations also, he doesn't get angry. Most stressful, because when you're doing management, ISKCON events, etc., sometimes there's a little bit of tension because of the time limits. Tomorrow is Janmashtami, we have to bring something, some mistakes happen, this, that, so many tensions will be there. So, but still he doesn't become angry. So he said something. He said, just remember, what was that, 5.28 or something he says. 5.29, I think. He just says, remember 5.29. What's 5.29? Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasa. Sarvaloka Maheshwara. He'll say, just remember 5.29, he says, when everything is out of control. That means, he says, Krishna is the Sarvaloka Maheshwara. He is the controller. I am not the controller. So we are not the controller. So he just, whatever, if everything blows up also, he doesn't get tensed. So he's like very relaxed. Okay. So I had the very good opportunity to be with him very closely. And I used to see him face to face every day. And I used to ask him so many questions. And I used to get so many answers. And there's so many interactions that I had him. I'm really very fortunate. I'm feeling very fortunate that I had the association. Because see, it's very easy to go on talking theory. We can say hundreds of theoretical things, that, okay, be happy, distress, you should be same, angry, anxiety. We can give wonderful classes, but the reality, somebody who is really following or somebody who is like living it, that is Anadi Jagannath Prabhu. And even if he was there here, he would know also, he would like immediately stop me from, glorifying him. He says when somebody is glorifying, you should run away from that place. That's what he says. Should not stay in that place and hear like it's like pleasant music, somebody is praising. So he would say, run away from that place first. So that was his mood. And on Saturdays and Sundays, I tell you how he used to do devotional service. Okay. All the week he'll be busy, of course, in the IT job, and on Saturdays and Sundays, he and Vrinda Maharani Mataji, they'll be going and doing 6 programs, 5 to 6 programs every weekend. 5 to 6 programs. Going to 6 programs means going to 6 devotees, going to some apartments, and Mataji used to take children's classes, and Prabhuji will be cooking, and he'll be bringing prasadam, or Prabhuji will give some class here and there. So like that, 5 to 6 programs in a weekend is unimaginable. It's not possible, okay? It's not possible. That too after, weekends is meant for our relaxation, isn't it? Weekend is meant for relaxation, is it not? After a very hard-working week, we want relaxation. Who wants to be going here and there, running about? Right? So he's like that. And he has done so much. And his Guru Maharaj, right? Our Guru Maharaj, Jayapataka Maharaj, he also used to love Anadi Prabhu. But when our Guru Maharaj got to know that Anadi Prabhu left the body, he was very disturbed. Actually, our Guru Maharaj never feels like so much, because he has 60,000 disciples. Every day, one disciple or the other will pass away. Is it not? There are 60,000 people. Every day, some news will come. Okay, this devotee passed away. Guru Maharaj will feel a little bad. That's it. But when he heard that Anadi Jagannath Prabhu passed away, he felt very bad. He felt very bad. Like very, very bad. Okay, he was like bad. He was feeling bad for a very long time. And everybody used to love him, and it was such a big shocker for all of us. Anybody wants to add something? Anybody here who knows him personally, met him, want to add something? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, once Anadi Prabhuji had taken chanting class. Class on chanting, how to like chant. I was beginner then. I didn't know how to chant on beat. For somebody who is very beginner, no, he was explaining it in very easy manner and easy to follow everything. And I was very impressed by that class. Today, even now, nobody, I don't rely on anybody for anything after hearing that chanting on beads. And he was like explaining about different beads, how they give, all that. So his classes were very interesting, Prabhuji, and he makes it easy, also easy and simple to understand. So that was my experience.
Yeah, that's right. He was an expert speaker. He used to give classes very nicely. And what we have to learn from him is practical devotional service. That is to have 100% faith in the spiritual master. The kind of faith he used to have for spiritual master, it was unbelievable. For me, when I used to see him, he used to be saying something. Okay, he used to say that we must work in such a way that as if our spiritual master is with us. That means if my spiritual master was with me right now in this room with me, how would I act? That is the standard. That means, let us say if a devotee is asking for some favor, okay, somebody is asking, okay, can you do me this favor? But it's a little inconvenient for me. If Guru Maharaj were to be there with me, I would obviously say yes to please Guru Maharaj, right? Or I would not do something non-devotional which would displease my spiritual master. So he used to carry Guru Maharaj or his spiritual master with him always. That whatever action I will do, will this action please my spiritual master or displease him? If it will displease my spiritual master, I shall not do it. If it will please him, I will do anything and I will do this. This was the mood. This was what he had taught. And another secret I tell you, there was one more secret that he said to me, that if you want to advance in devotional service rapidly, you must do seva, Vaishnava seva. The service of the devotees. He said, service of the devotees is the most powerful way to advance in devotional service. It's the most powerful way. That's why he used to associate with so many Maharajas and Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj. And there's so many Maharajas who used to love him. Radheshyam Prabhu he used to talk to. He also used to talk to Guru Maharaj secretaries. He used to talk to Guru Maharaj also. And he used to talk to our temple president, His Grace Anukul Keshav Prabhu, all of them. I mean, like, one thing I remember, Sumantra Mataji said one thing. Okay, I remember this very vividly. Okay, she said, I've seen so many devotees, but I've never seen anybody like Anadi Prabhu. Don't leave him. That's what she said. Don't leave him. That was that just stuck to my mind. Okay. And fortunately, somehow at that point of time, my career was on a low and I was having a lot of free time. So I could get, like, whenever I had trainings, I just had to go. I used to go to his house and I used to stay in his house only, like that. So it was a very close association and I could see him. It's very uplifting association. And then, I mean, it also shows, like, how important is devotee association. Okay. So this devotional
Prabhuji,
service.
you are
Yeah.
becoming one more Anadi Jagannath Prabhuji.
Mataji,
Prabhuji,
I am
really,
nothing.
truly,
This is
that is
too much. No. I told you, it's quantifiably. I tell you, Anadi Prabhu, whatever he does in one week, I take 1 year for. That's a fact. Okay. So it's impossible to compare. I very well know that. And I always remember Anadi Prabhu. For example, if any activity or any devotee asks for a favor, I remember Anadi Prabhu and I think, if Anadi Prabhu would have been there, how would he be doing? And don't think that I will do it. I will only think and I will give up. I'll think that if he was there, he would be able to do it, not me. Okay. So that's what I am. I'm just very, very insignificant in front of me. I'm really telling. I'm not saying out of humble or modesty. It's a fact. Everybody knows that. Who knows Anadi Prabhu and me also, obviously. It's no comparison. It's too good. Okay. So that's the point. Okay, devotees. So that I just wanted to share this. Very wonderful mentor. We lost his association. A lot of people felt the same. They said we lost him. I mean, when he was there, we didn't take association. A lot of people felt bad about it. When the pure devotee association is there, we must take it. We must not wait for something else. When he was just going around with all of the devotees, they were not taking association. They were just casually going around. And when he left, they felt so bad. They felt so bad. He was just with us. And we never took his association. We never followed him properly. Why we didn't do? Devotees felt so bad. You see? So we should not do that. Okay, this devotional service, Krishna is saying here, right? I'll show you the slide. What is Krishna saying? We show you. This is all practical, okay? Practical devotional service. We're not talking some theory here. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves in faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. It's a fact. It's a fact. Veda itself means fact. Veda means fact. 100%. And among the Vedas, the topmost secret is Bhagavad Gita. It is the Guhyatamam Shastram, the topmost secret. And Krishna's word means it is pure Veda Vakya. It means 100% true. It's like it's a fact. That's it. Just like sun rising in the east. It's how factual it is. It's so factual that if we do this devotional service, whatever we have Krishna consciousness, it's 100% perfect process. We just have to take the process sincerely. That's it. There's no need to hesitate, no need to think, oh, whether this will suit me or not, whether something will happen to me, what will happen to me, something will happen, maybe I'll become a monk, I'll lose everything. No, this is all unnecessary considerations. So just simply take it and it will be all good. Everything will be perfect. Krishna will 100% take care of us. He will reciprocate 100%. That is very clear. When we see these great devotees who are there, who are always thinking about how to serve the spiritual master, who are like having least amount of sense gratification. Sense gratification is not on their agenda at all, right? So that's just one person in the army of Srila Prabhupada. Then what to talk about all his disciples? What to talk about our Guru Maharaj and Jayapatak Maharaj? It will require not even one class. It will require a lot of series of classes. How many of you read that Milwaukee to Mayapur? The book, right? There's a book on our Guru Maharaj. Right? It says how much he has done for Krishna consciousness. Right? It's such a completely different class, a very big class. And I mean, if you think about Anadi Prabhu, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, his spiritual master, and his spiritual master Prabhupada, how much Srila Prabhupada has done for all of us. I mean, how much he has dedicated his life, how much he has put all his energy. You see, he was like 78-year-old. Just imagine 78-year-old person, 80-year-old person, sleeping at 10 o'clock in the night, waking up at 1 o'clock in the midnight, and dictating these verses. Whatever we are reading here, this translation, the purport, all that Prabhupada has written. At 1 o'clock in the midnight, he's taking inconvenience for what? What is he getting by doing that? That is called devotional service. Okay, we have to appreciate and we should take it. And this is a very important thing. Right? So these are all the pure devotees. I mean, these are practical qualities. These kind of devotees Krishna likes. Yes, but the person who follow this path of devotional service, Krishna consciousness, don't take it lightly. If you make Krishna supreme goal, they are very, very dear to me. Bhaktas te ativa me priya. Ativa me priya. Ativa me priya means very, very dear to me. Extremely dear. Krishna loves them like anything. All those devotees who follow the path of Krishna consciousness, whatever Prabhupada has delineated for us. All right, so now let us just see this activity. Let's do a quick activity. Okay, now I want you to just take 5 minutes time and write down on a paper how much marks do you want to give for each of these qualities, right? For example, determined, dealings with the Lord, determined. Means how determined are you in Krishna consciousness? Write on a score of 1 to 10. If you are little less determined or not at all determined, put 1. If you are the most determined in Krishna consciousness, put 10. Similarly, mind and intelligence fix on Lord. If you very rarely think of Lord, or if you just chant a little bit or don't chant at all, put 1. If you're chanting a couple of rounds, maybe put 3, 4 like that. If you're chanting 16 rounds, maybe you can put 7 like that. And if you're always thinking about Krishna, put 10. Engaged in devotional service. How nicely you are engaging yourself in devotional service. Put a score for it. And how you are dealing with the others. How much non-envious do you feel towards others? When you see somebody who's better than you, who is close to you, do you feel envious or non-envious? If you feel completely non-envious, put 10. If you feel very envious, put 1. If you're in middle, put 5. Something like that. And how is your association? What kind of association do you have? What kind of friendship you have? Do you have like a pure devotee association, completely away from non-devotee association? Then put 10. If you have mixed, then put 5. If you have no devotee association at all, then put 1. And reaction when things happen to him. So do you feel satisfied with whatever you have generally? Then put 10 out of 10. If you feel not at all satisfied with your life, put 1. A little bit okay, put 5 or 7 or towards 7 or towards 5 to 10 or maybe 0 to 1 to 5. Equipoised and tolerant. When you're getting difficulties in life, how do you react? Do you cry? Do you complain? Do you become very disturbed? Or you are like tolerant? Or you are like tolerant. I mean, like you are able to tolerate it and you don't complain and you just take it and you just think that, okay, it's my karma. That's it. Okay, what can I do about it? It's my karma. You don't go and say, blame somebody and say, because of you, my life is like this. Because of you, I'm suffering so much. It's because of you that I'm this. Don't do. If you're doing that, put 1. If you don't do that at all, put 10. Or if you're in middle, put something. Equipoised and tolerant. Attitude from sense of proprietorship. How many times do you think that you are the boss or you have done it? It's yours, that everything is yours. My house is mine. My degree is mine. My profession is mine. It's me who has done it. That's then you have to put 1. If you feel a lot, if you feel not at all, if you feel that everything is given by Krishna and you're 100% surrendered, put it 10. False ego, similar to that only, that I am not the body. If you think a lot of bodily conception, that you have a feeling that nobody should actually insult me. If somebody insults me, I'll not spare them. Then put 1. Okay. If you don't have false ego, put 10. Okay. And self-satisfied endeavors. Okay. You can skip that point if you want. Endeavors, self-satisfied. How self-satisfied you are. Okay. I'll just give you 2 minutes of time. And quickly, just very quickly, just put some points and we'll wrap it up. Okay. Just giving you 2 minutes time.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, tell me, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I got 55 marks out of 110.
Okay, fine. Okay, Mataji. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Totally, there are 3 plus. Okay, there are totally 10 points here. Okay, 10, 100. Maybe there was 1 extra. Okay. You can take a screenshot and keep it and work it out.
Prabhuji, I got maybe 45. I couldn't
Okay.
even cross.
Fine. No worries. Hare Krishna. We are all working, no problem. On ourselves. Okay. Done? Can I stop sharing?
Prabhuji, share this slide with us, no?
Sure. I'll share the slide with you. Okay, devotees, thank you. So that was about this class, and this is and we also spoke about Prahlad Maharaj. Maybe we'll just do this closing of this shloka, very beautiful shloka. We can't miss this. Anybody wants to read this? This is a very gem of a shloka. You know, the way you're supposed to do this tune is Tatte nukampam susamikshmano bhunjana yevatmakritam vipakam. Like that. Anybody wants to try this shloka? It's a gem of a shloka. You want to have this inside your safest locker. This is a diamond.
May I try, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Tatte nukampam sumikshmano bhunjana evatmakritam vipakam hridvag vapurbhirvitadan namaste jivetayo muktipade sadaya bhag. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Can you also read the translation?
My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, body, surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. Very nice, Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you. So such a beautiful, such a practical thing, okay? In our life, we don't know what is guaranteed in our life, but one thing is definitely guaranteed by Krishna. Unfortunately, sounds pessimistic, but that is suffering. Krishna says it is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. This material world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam, and nobody can escape that miseries. Unfortunately, or fortunately, or unfortunately. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Because Krishna is saying it, and there is suffering. We discussed in detail in the previous classes, right? In different forms and formats, suffering comes. But then, what should be a reaction of a devotee to the suffering? Should we blame somebody, or should we try to do something and try to mitigate it? Of course, we must. But a lot of times, the suffering, we cannot mitigate it. It's like that. We just have to tolerate. There's no other option. So at that point of time, if instead of blaming God, instead of blaming others, if we can surrender to Krishna, if we can offer our respectful obeisances with our heart, body, and words, then liberation becomes our rightful claim. Daya Bhak. Daya Bhak means inheritance, property. Property means, see, as per the property laws, inheritance laws, if there's a father and has a property, and father, mother, lot of property, the child doesn't have to do anything to get that property. Okay. He has to simply be good, that's all. As long as that person is not like inimical towards the father will naturally give that property to that son. Is it not? The parents will naturally transfer. There's no reason why they don't want to send, unless we become inimical to that father and mother. Similarly, liberation is our rightful claim as long as we tolerate our sufferings without blaming anybody and God, and worship God, surrender to God, then liberation is our rightful claim. Just like inheritance automatically comes, liberation automatically comes for the devotee. This is the formula. So this is a gem and a treasure trove which we should always keep in our heart. We should keep this with us all our lives. And we should tolerate whatever suffering comes and just think that it is my past misdeeds and just worship Krishna. That's it. That should be, that's the very beautiful essence of devotional service. Okay, so that's the, and practical example is here. Prahlad Maharaj, right? He's troubled by his father, tried to be killed by elephants in all different ways, given poison, thrown from the valley, everything. But he's still tolerating. He's never scolding his father. He's not shouting at him. Nor is he getting upset on God. Just tolerating it. And then Lord himself appeared in front of him and killed Hiranyakashipu, right? And he delivered Prahlad Maharaj. All right. So that's the thing, devotional service that we can do. Chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Please, please, please. If you're not chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, don't take it lightly. You may be remembering Krishna differently in different forms. That's all fine. Good. Please chant in a proper way on beads or counter. Beads is recommended. Properly take out time. Don't do anything else. Keep your mobile aside and chant Hare Krishna properly. The regulated number of fixed number of rounds which you have taken a vote for. Srila Prabhupada recommends 16 rounds or more. You take up what you can for now and start with something. Read Bhagavad Gita regularly. Worship Tulsi Maharani. So that's one of the 30-day challenge. We have come to the end, right? 28th day today. 29, 30, 31. Just 3-4 days to go. We come almost to the end. Tulsi Maharani worship. Manglarti. Offering to the Lord. Whatever you cook, offer it to the Lord and have it as prasad. This is practical devotional service. All right. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna. We will stop here. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Wonderful class.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
It is difficult to follow, but we try to follow.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Danvat Pranam.
Danvat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Naresh Prabhu, Valarmati Mataji, Hare Krishna. Urmila Mataji, Indira Haridas Mataji, Hare Krishna. So Naresh Prabhu, you met yes, Danvat Pranam. Ganga Prabhu. Naresh Prabhu yesterday in Malaysia met Vrinda Maharani Mataji, wife of Anadi Jagannath Prabhu.
Yes.
How was your meeting? Share something.
No, she was telling that you actually very hardworking. You do so much.
Oh, about me? No. Anything else?
Anything else? No, she asked us to invite us to join your yatras in India.
In India, yeah. Join us for some yatra. Maybe Kartik month we'll do some yatra. Please come. We'll host you. Plan ahead. Do something. If it's possible, please come. We'll take good care of you. We'll go to Vrindavan, etc. Right? Thank you. Hare Krishna Jayanti Mataji. Yes. Yeah.
She's very happy that we are always joining the class.
Yeah, Vrindamarani Mataji, very lucky that you met her because she's like the wife of the devotee whom I'm speaking about. And she herself is such a wonderful devotee, Mataji, right? Wonderful. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, sir.
Naresh Prabhu and Valarmati Mataji. Dhanad pranams. Kalyani Mataji, Hare Krishna. Renuka Mataji, Hare Krishna. Gangai Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Jayanti,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Everybody, Hare Krishna. Dhanad pranams.
Hare